Okay, so we've been talking about fractions, and in the last unit we talked about solving equations. We looked at things like this. Sure. We're looking at things like this. 3x plus 5 equals 20. And how did we solve that? We would subtract 5. So 3x equals 15, and then we would divide by 3. So x equals 5. And there we are. Well, today we're going to switch that up a little bit and start looking at equations that look like this. What would we do to solve that? I mean, it looks very different, but it's really the exact same form of equation as this one was. Up here we subtracted and then we divided. Down here we're going to subtract and then divide. What are we going to subtract? We're going to subtract 1/4. Good. So over here all that's left is the 3/5 x. 7/8 minus 1/4, we have to have a common denominator, which is going to be 8. So the 7/8 stays 7/8. 1/4 becomes 2/8. 7 minus 2 is 5/8. So we subtracted. Now we need to divide. Divide by what? Well, what's multiplying x? 3/5 is multiplying x. So we're going to divide by 3/5. That's gone. We're left with x. Dividing by 3/5 over here. Now when we divide by 3/5, of course when we divide we're going to take the reciprocal and multiply by 5/3. At this point it's tempting to try to cross cancel, but why can't we do it right now? We're dividing. It has to be multiplication. This is going to be changed to 5/8 times 5 over 3. Now we can cross cancel, but at this point there's nothing that will cancel out. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 3 is 24, which is 1 and 1, 24. This is x. What do you think? Better than a sharp stick in the eye? Now, as promised, told you that at some point I'd show you how to use the calculator to make these a little easier on us. And now is the time for that. So here we had to do some subtracting and dividing with our fractions. How do we make the calculator do that? So if we have something like 7/8 minus 1/4. On your calculators, you have a button that looks like this. A, B, C. Most of your calculators would be like the second row from the top, second or third button in from the left. So to enter 7/8, you do 7, press the ABC key, and 8. That's 7/8. Then minus 1/4 would be 1, hit the ABC button, and then 4, and hit equals. And it should spit out 5/8, right? What if it's a little bit trickier than that? What if it's something like this? 3 and 5/8 plus 2 and 1/3. Well, to enter in a mixed number, we have to use that ABC key twice. So you do 3 ABC, 5 ABC, 8. And then plus 2 ABC, 1 ABC, 3. And hit equals. And what do you get? 5 and what? There you go. 5 and 23/24. What do you think? Makes things a little easier? So now as we go about solving these equations, we can use the calculator to do the calculations for us to help us out. So let's try this one. 3/8 x minus 5 and 1/4 equals 6 and 1/2. So, what would we do to solve this? Think of it like this. If this were 2x minus 5 equals 21, what would we do first? You'd add the 5, right, to get rid of it? Same thing's going to happen over here. Only over here we're going to have to add the 5 1/4. Make that go away, leaving us with 3/8 x over here. But we do have to add 5 1/4 on the other side as well. So 6 1/2 plus 5 1/4 is, I'll let you practice punching her in. Should be 11 3/4. That sounds better, yeah. Everybody get that to work? So now what's our next step?
I don't suppose you could include variables
In the calculator? No.
No.
No, it doesn't. Now, of course, we're going to divide by 3/8. So x equals 31 1/3. Is that correct? So 11 3/4 divided by 3/8. 31 1/3. Good. Let's try another one. I'm going to have you guys try this one on your own. Give that one a shot. See what you come up with. So, what would we do first? Subtract 4 1/2. Good. So that's going to give us that 2/3 x equals 3 3/4. And then we would divide by 2/3, which is going to give us 5 5/8. Perfect. Any questions? Perfect. What happens if we run into something like this? So we look at that. I mean, it can be a little tough to think about at first, but we can change the way it's written just a little bit to make it easier. X over 7 can actually be thought of as just 1/7 x. X over 5 can be thought of as 1/5 x equals 36. Now I have 1/7 x plus 1/5 x, so I have to add 1/7 and 1/5. If you add that on your calculator, you're going to get what? $12 35ths. Everybody follow what we did there to get the 12 35ths x? Any questions where that came from?
Well, let's see. So we're replacing the x with 1, and then we just the x to the side.
Yeah, we just add the 1/7 and the 1/5. Yeah.
So then you add 1/7 plus 1/5.
Yep.
To get 12 35ths.
Yeah, it's just like having 3x plus 6x. 3 and 6 make 9, so it's 9x. Now what do we have to do?
Now we have to divide by 36.
Divide by not 36, but 12/35.
Oh, right.
So x equals 105. Correct? Perfect.
On here it says 1/105.
You did something wrong in your calculator. You did the 12/35 divided by 36 and not the other way around. I'm going to have you try one. Give this one a shot, see what you come up with. So let's take a look. You got, treat this as 1/4 x plus 1/9 x equals 26. You combine the 1/4 plus 1/9 to get 13/36 x, correct?
Correct.
Then what?
Then we divide 26 by 13.
Which gives you x equals 72. Questions, comments, complaints? Yes? We know you hate fractions. Can you abolish fractions? Someday when you rule the world, you can abolish fractions.
Awesome. Wait, if I rule the world.
So we run into a problem like this. Now this one, remember, we have this thing here is called the fraction bar. And if you recall, it's also, it means divide, but it's also an enclosing symbol. It means that everything on top gets done first, then everything on bottom. So what this is saying is x was multiplied by 3, had 7 added to it, and then the whole works was divided by 4. So to take this apart, or to solve it, we reverse those steps. So the last thing that was done was dividing by the 4. The first thing we're going to do is multiply by 4. The opposite of dividing would be multiply. So we're going to multiply by 4 to get rid of it. So 3x plus 7 equals 28. And then now it's in a form we know what to do with. What are we going to do? Not everybody at once. Take your time. Okay.
Okay. Now, you can subtract 7 from 28.
Subtract 7, so 3x equals 21. And then
Then you divide by 3.
divide by 3. X equals 7.
Get what?
7. Let's have you guys try one. Oh, well, I'll put it in there. Try that one. So what's the first thing we have to do? Just need more time? No? Let's multiply by 3 to get rid of the dividing by 3. So all that does over here is it gets rid of the 3. So we still have 5x minus 2 over here. We have to multiply this side, though. 6 times 3 is 18. Then what? We add 2. So 5x equals 20. And then divide by 5. X equals 4. You guys need to try one more of those?
I think I got it.
Think you got it? Well, let's try something like this then. Looking at this one now, we've added in, so we've put the fractions in there. But it's still the same process. Tell me what to do.
Well, we need to times by
So we multiply by 7/8. So we got 2/3 x minus 1/4 over here. Times 7/8 over here gives us 7/10. Now what? Add 1/4. So now we have 2/3 x equals 19/20. And then divide by 2/3. Which is going to give us that x equals 57/40, or 1 17/40. Everybody get that? Any questions, comments? How about this one? Let me try this one on your own. Give that one a shot. We'll talk about it in a minute. What's our first step? Multiply by 1/3. Takes that away. So 2/3 x minus 1/4 equals 1.5 times 1/3 is just 1/2. Did everybody make it to that point? Okay, do you want me to give you more time to keep finishing up? Okay. So from this point, what do we do? Add the 1/4. 2/3 x equals 3/4. And then divide by the 2/3. X equals 1 1/8. Yeah, cool. Let's see. I'll give you an easy one here. Give that one a shot. So we start out, we're just going to add the 3.1. Now, if you're working on the calculator, you can just use the decimal point, of course. So got 1.4x equals 7.6. And then we divide by 1.4. We end up getting x equals 5.42857143 approximately. Sound right? What's wrong, Chris?
So, if I'm going to write the answer, if that's a test problem, I'm going to write the answer. What do you want me to write? Just shorten it up to 5.4?
5.43 or something like that.
What if you just did 5.4?
Well, then I have to break your fingers.
Jeez. Ooh. Okay. Do so.
Okay, so with this, there's a new quiz. I don't have the quiz number in front of me, but there's a new quiz due tomorrow, Tuesday,
Quiz 9, okay?
at 11:59 p.m.
I got the homework. Homework.
Nope.
Quizzes was it.
There's a new homework's due on Thursday when you come in to take the test. And there is a test on Thursday.
Which is gonna be on quizzes, numbers, what ones? Like,
Let me look at the quiz numbers here.
Yeah, instead of just getting half points back for correcting our answers, you get full points back.
Okay, so let's see. Test 2 is there. It's up through quiz 9. So quiz 9 is the one that's due tomorrow. So test 2 is going to cover everything up through quiz 9 and homework 11.
Which means
1 through, so it's gonna be quiz 1 through 9?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be mostly quizzes 4 through 9, but you know, everything else is kind of, it's cumulative, so the rest of the stuff is going to be there.
Oh,
It's just part of the other problems.